I've got a letter here from a young lady, and I'm going to read it. It's about relationships. I know. I know. If we didn't have to deal with anybody, like never, we just all lived on islands, we would be miserable. So just know, relationships, not easy. If anybody knows the secret formula to a successful relationship, let me know. But relationships are for us to work through. They're the best reflection of where we are. So if you look at somebody as a mirror to where you are, to who you are, to how you're showing up for your own self, then it's kind of easier to get the name of the game. The name of the game for all relationships, it's a little twist here, self-love. So if I'm vibrating here as my level of respect to my own self, I'm not going to get anybody who's vibrating here. No one's going to be able to love me more than I love myself. Even if somebody shows up and loves me more than I love myself, I'm only going to be able to absorb it at this level. So this person can be pouring all kinds of love on me, but unless I'm able to receive it from my own self, I'm not going to get it. So if you've ever been in this kind of relationship, that's what's happening. So, I mean, you can stay there if you want, but you're not getting. It is best if we're honest with ourselves and say, okay, I'm vibrating here, this is my level of self-respect, and oh, this person is treating me in this level of respect, I don't like it, break up with that person. Send them on their way and say, I need to do some work. And be with yourself and do self-love, self-respect, be nice to yourself, say good things about yourself, take care of yourself, and raise your vibration here, and then you can attract somebody here and have a more responsible, mature relationship. So that's a pretty big key right there. Here's the letter. My situation is this. I have an ex-boyfriend who I dated for a little over a year. I broke it off because huge trust issues built up. And, to be truthful, it wasn't the healthiest of relationships. I was always jealous, and so was he. But I loved him. And I hated him for a very long time after I broke up with him. Then I told myself I wouldn't hate him. I didn't want to be one of those girls. So I told myself I would love him instead. I meditated on it for about 4 months and finally realized something. I did love him. But it was in the same love I was feeling when I dated him. The obsessive, anxious, be with me forever kind of love. And I was getting really lonely. All of my friends didn't understand what I was going through, so I stopped asking them for advice. I feel like the universe is trying to tell me something, but I'm struggling to find out what it is. After winter camp, I meditated on the specific question of the lesson of it all, and I thought I had it. And everything was almost back to my usual preppy self, but last night he walked all over in my dreams, and in my dreams our relationship restarted. It was the best dream I've had in a long time, but it was also a nightmare. Loaded. All right, jealousy. Why does jealousy happen? 2 reasons. 1, it's him. 2, it's her. Now him and her is interchangeable, right? Could be her, him. This is the way it is right now. Okay. Person A doesn't think he's worthy of person B. So he gets jealous. One of the ways that plays out is he's jealous. So she's just talking to some guy, and he's like, oh, she likes him better than me. I don't know. She's supposed to be my girl, and da-da-da. So he's getting all upset, but really, he doesn't think he's worth being in a relationship. He thinks he's not, he doesn't bring enough value to the relationship. He's a little insecure, and, she's better than me. Okay. Reason 1. Reason 2, scenario 2, is he's fine. He's confident. He knows he loves her. She's his girl. He's solid. He's honest. He's loyal. And she's in flaky world. Girls tend to be flaky. So she doesn't know how she feels about him. Like when they had that nice, wonderful talk, she said, yes, I'm your girl. I commit to you. Boyfriend, girlfriend. Yes, we're it. This is it. And then something happened and she feels funny and she's not so sure and whatever and maybe I'll talk to this guy. So, what do you do when you're doing this? You stop and you check in with yourself and you figure out which emotions you're feeling. You say, what am I feeling now? Oh, I'm feeling this, I'm feeling that. And if you can at least name some emotions, then at least you're going to get some semblance of order. Girls' emotions don't have order. And guys don't understand all of this craziness. They like it because it's kind of cute, but when you're trying to have a conversation, when you're trying to have a commitment, it gets a little wishy-washy, gets a little flaky, gets a little squirmy. She doesn't even know what to do with it all herself. So she'll jump to another guy and try and get attention from him to make her feel more secure. And this guy's like, what up with that? So that's another possible reason why they're jealous, because this person is not committed, is not loyal. So he has reason to be suspicious, and that turns into jealousy. Little complicated, but that's what I've found out so far. If you have another idea, please let me know. I'd love to hear from you. All right. She was upset with him for a very long time afterward. Yes. Post-relationship. People don't talk about this. There is a relationship after the relationship. So don't tell me you guys break up and you never think about that person ever again. No. You sometimes obsess over them. You think about them morning, noon, and night, and every moment in between. And you're like, wait, I broke up with this person. I'm not supposed to be thinking about them. Get out of my head. But it doesn't work like that. So what do we do with that? What do we do with that nasty control that, oh, he's with another girl and he never really cared about me. He was using me. Blah, blah, blah. Okay, crazy. So you have to move the energy. Go exercise, pick up a new sport, a new routine, change something, cut your hair, do something different. Change it up. Because, some people just run into another relationship. But that's the rebound thing, and that stinks. It stinks for the new person, and it's so... Here, this is what happens. You lower your self-respect when you break up with somebody and then you try and grab another person. It doesn't work. Just sit with that. Just sit with yourself, be with all your emotions, be with your obsessiveness, and say, okay, let's work with this, because we can't work away from it. We can't run away from it, and we're not going to use somebody else to cover it up. Work with it. Sit with yourself. Write things down. Review. The best thing to do with this post-relationship feelings, even though you're not talking to them, you're thinking about them, you're loving them, you're hating them, you wish you never met them, you just don't want to ever be in a relationship again, your heart is broken. There's a few things going on all at the same time. One of them is recovery. It's mourning the loss of that relationship, or what that relationship potential was even. That's another aspect of it. And it's just this process of letting go. Another thing to do with that post-relationship energy is to review. How did I show up? Was I being respectful to that other person? Was I honest with that other person? Did I share my feelings, or was I playing games? Was I doing all this avoidance thing? Did I not trust that person? Do I not trust myself? What could I have done better? What do I want to learn from this relationship? What did I really like about that relationship? So when I'm making a list of qualities and experiences that I want to create for myself, what in that relationship can I take and put down for myself on a piece of paper, saying these are the qualities I want to enjoy in my next relationship? Or what terrible thing happened that you didn't see coming that you don't want to ever experience again? Write that down too, the opposite of that, so you can create what the opposite of that was. Spend time in the beginning of a relationship building respect, honest respect, lots of communication. So you know what? When you're beginning a relationship, you should think, one day this relationship more than likely will end, especially if you're young. And this is an experience that we're going to have together, and we're going to do the best we can. And my goal is to be friends afterward, to have enough of a good, solid friendship before we get into sexual things, before we get into obsessive, possessive, labeling, boyfriend, girlfriend, before we get into all of that, let's make a good, solid friendship so we can talk about things as they happen, and as they unhappen, we can still talk about things. That's the best way to do it. I know it's hard. Loneliness, that's the self-love. The more self-love you have going into a relationship, the more self-love you're going to have keeping that standard throughout the relationship. And the idea in relationships is to go, hey, 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 hey. That's the name of the game. If you can do that at an early age, boy, you're way ahead of the game. So, this thing about the dream coming back. So she's like, oh, I think I got over it. I think I made the process and I feel good. And then all of a sudden, bang. That's the 12 o'clock hour. That's another video. Look it up. Thank you.